is on to make and deliver ventilators to hospitals fighting coronavirus. For patients critically ill with the virus, a ventilator could save their life. So what do ventilators do? A ventilator is a mechanical machine that moves an oxygen mix into the lungs of a patient who is having difficulty doing so. They are invasive and are only used for the most severely ill. Patients have to be sedated and given a muscle relaxant as a tube is placed in the mouth and into the windpipe and then connected to a ventilator. How many do we need? The government says the NHS needs a total of 30,000 ventilators to cope with the peak of the coronavirus outbreak, when hospital admissions will be at their highest and the need for life-saving equipment will be at its greatest. It's a big number to deliver in a short amount of time.
That Wuhan's hospitals would soon be overwhelmed by patients, and in the case of highly infectious viruses like coronavirus, that makes a bad situation worse, as infected individuals will try to recover at home, where the virus can more easily spread. Therefore, the decision was made on January 23rd to build a brand new facility capable of treating 1,000 patients at once, Shenzhen Hospital. It was announced that this would be done, fully constructed, by February 2nd. Just 10 days later. China has experience with such a feat. In 2003, the country suffered an outbreak of severe acute respiratory syndrome, or SARS, which is also caused by a form of coronavirus. Much like with the novel coronavirus, hospitals were overwhelmed and many had to turn away patients. In response, the government decided to build a new hospital. Over 6 days.
We're talking about information getting out to the public. I have to ask you about some journalists that have disappeared. Where is the citizen journalist Chen Shoushi? He was doing some of the early videos from inside Wuhan that were showing the response to the virus and the chaos that was happening inside Wuhan.
I have not heard of this person.
Really? Chen Shoushi?
Why not?
Well, you were asked about him on Face the Nation on February the 9th.
No, I was not asked about any particular journalist.
You were. She named Margaret. I watched the clip. Margaret Brennan named Chen Shoushi. You were asked.
But I did not know him then. I don't know him now.
Well, it's a month later. Weren't you curious to find out who he was?
He's the hero of China. So even me. So I'm so proud of him. He told people the truth. He passed away. I think in the second day, and in Wuhan and some other cities, and they held a short morning memory and just raised the mobile phone, turn on the light, and show this for a couple minutes, and then go back to work. I suppose majority of Chinese doctors actually like him, and they admire him, and they suppose Dr. Li is a hero, including me. This is Chinese doctor.
It's important to understand the origin of the virus for three key reasons. One is if we find the source and if it's still out there, we can prevent future reintroduction of the same virus into the human population. The second reason is that if we understand how this one jumped from a bat origin into humans, we can perhaps prevent similar events in the future, so to prevent future similar pandemics. And the third reason is that if we can find the virus, how it looked like before it jumped to the human population, we could potentially be in a better position to develop more efficient treatments and vaccines for this disease.
Peter, you're leading the mission that will be studying the origins of this virus. Tell us about
MSNBC. Janice Mackey-Freyer in Beijing, Wuhan.
For now, the WHO has delayed a decision on whether to name this a public health concern on an international scale. What steps is China taking?
Well, increasingly the statistics
Well, we've seen all the top-level officials come out and say that this needs to be resolutely curbed, that there needs to be transparency. As you heard from the executives earlier there, China has made a number of steps since the early 2000s, lessons they learned from SARS, when China was criticized widely for trying to deny the scope of the coronavirus, for being very slow to respond. Now, since then, China spent some $12 billion, $12 billion to upgrade its public health system in terms of technology. You've seen us implement a number of transparency controls. So yesterday, during that public health briefing, we did learn that China is now implementing eviction laws. They're also implementing nationwide
Voices like these in Chinese are very rare. Health organizations are willing to speak out about the government's China's health strategy. They ask to remain anonymous, but they let them and their organizations in China will these principles of American new way of dedicating vice president message out to health.
brought in all of these harsh measures.